Hi everybody, my name is Armin, physiotherapist from Easy Therapy. Today what I'd like to do is share 5 things that I would share with a new graduate physiotherapist, occupational therapist, kinesiologist, anybody who's really providing one-on-one service for people in the community. Things that I think are super important to keep in mind to help you grow your caseload, be successful in terms of getting great treatment outcomes, but also feel fulfillment in you, yourself, your caseload, and your career as it goes on. Okay, so my number one advice, the first thing that I would recommend for a new graduate or anybody who's new on our team is to learn how to fail. It is one of the most important things that you could do. Learn how to fail. Often individuals who are health professionals, physiotherapists, people who are doing this type of work throughout their careers, throughout their schooling, they've always been told, you're doing a good job, you're doing great. These individuals are often used to getting praise for how well they're doing, or other students are always looking up to them for all the things that they're doing. But unfortunately, in the real world, it doesn't often go that way. There are times where you might be working with somebody and you'll actually irritate that person. You'll maybe get them to do too many exercises, and now they come back feeling sore and saying that you did this to me. So learning how to hear that person out and understanding what they're going through, learning how to deal with that, showing them that you're confident that it's going to be okay and that it's part of the process. Those things are super important. If that ever happens, always remember, make sure that the person is felt heard and understood, and make sure that you explain to them how you're going to change or do things differently to make sure that they don't feel that way again moving forward, to really help them out. I think one of the worst things that you can do is go out there and say, well, it wasn't me, or don't take blame for it or try to deflect. I don't think that's always a great idea. I think you got to tackle it head on, show them that you're on the same page, accept it, you acknowledge it, you come up with a plan to make sure it doesn't happen again, show them the confidence in your treatment plan. That's how you get some success. So my second tip for new grads, new kinesiologists, or new individuals in their allied health professional field would be to try and explore as many different avenues or many different fields within your profession. So go out there and explore working in the hospital, go out there, work private, work in a clinic, do mobile work. Try and explore as many things as you can. Although that can be a cliche, and a lot of times people can tell you that, oh, you want to explore everything, really see what works best for you, put yourself in the best position, all of those things. In my opinion, go and explore all of those things, because it's the only way you're going to know and you're going to figure out where those deficiencies are in the system at delivering patient care. When you work in the hospital system, you get to learn what works and how the whole thing operates, but you also realize where the weaknesses are. And you also realize that where we can do as a profession, as physiotherapists or as occupational therapists, whatever you are, whatever field you're in, how you can make that better. And that really is what's going to help drive you over the top to make you a better practitioner, but overall more useful to your community. So my tip number 2, definitely go and explore and do as many things as you can. All right, so for my tip number 3, I would do this, of course, after you've done some exploring, you've learned where the deficiencies are in the systems, you learned what clinics do it really well and who doesn't do it so well. That leads to my tip number 3. Once you've figured out what your niche is, what you like, what's the best way you can serve your community, stick to a certain location, stick to a certain area, stick to a certain clinic, and really try to develop your skills and build your caseload within that area. One of the worst things you can actually do, in my opinion, is to go bouncing around back and forth between 5 or 6 different clinics. Sometimes I hear that 2, 3 different clinics, and in different cities. although the variety can be nice, and it's kind of nice seeing the different people and the different clientele, maybe different clinics can offer, in the long run, you're actually doing yourself a disservice because you're not at a specific location enough to build a meaningful caseload, to build meaningful relationships with doctors in that area, build meaningful relationships with lawyers in that area, or people in the community that can depend on your services. Of course, the clients themselves, the patients. That's the key. So once you've figured out what area you want to work in, so whether it's private practice, in a clinic, mobile, whatever it might be, choose a specific area or a city or a clinic. You could choose multiple clinics within a city, but you want to stay in one location to be able to be known in that area, so the community knows you, and whenever anybody needs anything to do with something that you can help with, right away they can just refer that individual to you because you've been a staple in that area. My fourth tip would be customer service. I know this is not something that we often think about as clinicians or practitioners. We often try to focus on, okay, how can I improve my manual therapy skills? How can I improve my exercise therapy? What are other therapists doing to make actual change for our clients? However, it is so important to always remember, although you're trying to do all of those things, you're also trying to deliver a customer service type of experience for the client as well. They need to feel like they're being heard. They need to feel that they're being cared about, that you genuinely care about what it is that you're doing. They need to sense that passion as well, and you're not just kind of going through the motions. You can spend sometimes 20 minutes on somebody just doing manual therapy and really giving it your all. But if you're not communicating to that person what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, and really delivering that experience, the person can sometimes just walk away thinking, well, that therapist didn't really do anything, just kind of touched my shoulder a little bit. And you could have been doing some amazing things, but if you're not communicating that, then sometimes a lot of those things can go unnoticed. So my fourth tip, probably one of the most important ones and something that I try to focus on a lot, is customer service. Although you're a practitioner, don't forget you're also trying to deliver a service to somebody. You're trying to make them happy with what it is that you're doing, buy in to what it is that you're doing, and you're also trying to make sure that the client recognizes there's full alignment between what they're trying to achieve and what you're doing to make sure that they do feel better and that everybody is on the same page. And my last and final tip, my fifth tip, is to keep things as simple as you can. Now, what ends up happening a lot of times, new grads, somebody who's graduated, they're excited because now they can practice, they can start helping people out. You've been in school this whole time and now you're ready to roll. And often what ends up happening is people start taking all these courses and extra courses here and there. And what ends up happening is they don't give themselves enough time to actually practice what they're learning. Each course that you're taking, every new skill that you learn can be applied to many different clients that you're going to have on your caseload, and in many different ways. There's no point of taking 3-4 courses all at once because you won't be able to have time to actually practice it. Now, I remember when I was in school and other people told me the same thing, I kind of looked and said, well, it's going to help me down the line. It's important to learn more. The more you know, the better. And I myself learned that although it is nice to learn quite a bit of different things and have those different skill sets, it's more important to keep things simple, but just be really good at the simple stuff. It's more important to know a few soft tissue skills, but just be really good at it. It's important to know fewer needling skills, but be really good at the ones that you do know. Often you'll actually get far better success there, and you'll feel a lot more confident in your treatment skills and treatment habits. And I can assure you, your clients will always pick up on that. So my fifth tip, slow it down with the classes. Super important to continue learning, but after you've taken one course, really try and practice it. Try and simplify it. Try and get really good at the little things. Just gentle hand positioning, gentle exercising, communication. Learn how to communicate what you're learning to people. It's super, super important.